Okay. We are preparing to live stream.
It says meeting is now streaming live on YouTube.
Okay.
Got that message.
All right, Mayor, you're ready.
Is this being shared?
You're supposed to share your screen.
Okay. Trust me, I'm trying. Try to get back to Zoom. There we are. Okay. I think I got it. Okay, can everyone see the screen now?
Yep.
Okay, good. I'd like to welcome everyone to this evening. I'd like to call the January 12th, 2021 Village of Lake Park Council meeting to order. Councilman Jim Rickard will lead us in the invocation.
Lord, we come before you today and welcome you to this meeting. We thank you for all the blessings that you have given to us. Weave us into a community showing forth your power and tenderness. Bless us and our differences and give us the courage to stand together in these times. We ask for your blessings to help us lead the community in which we live, work, and play. Help to remind us all from community, state, and federal levels of government that we are not only leaders, but also servants. And it is our responsibility to serve the common good for all. Grant us all the wisdom and courage to know and do what is right, good, and true. May we speak out when it is time to speak and listen patiently and receptively when it is time to listen. May we always be guided by the spirit of community, by the spirit of justice, and by the spirit of love. Please continue to give us strength. Please continue to give strength to all first responders and to frontline medical personnel that they stay safe. Please continue to give strength to our government that they do the proper course of business in these troubled times. We pray this in your name, that we hold what is good, right, and true. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Jim. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For public comment this evening, we have a
an email from Mr. Norris Jeffries, who asked us to read this into public comment. With the lack of sufficient number of volunteer citizens from Lake Park to serve on the Lake Park HOA board, and the expanding number of changes in availability in landscaping contractors to serve in the townhomes, garden district, and other groups of homeowners, perhaps it's time to look at combining some of the smaller groups of homes using landscape contractors and in using another method of managing homeowners and home appearances and related issues other than a homeowners association. Perhaps we could look at other methods and costs, such as creating a small unit under the village council with several employees to deal with community appearance and other matters traditionally handled by a homeowners association. I know that the city of Monroe has both landscaping and community appearance personnel who work for the city. This is from Mr. Jeffrey. And there are no other public comment this evening. We'll move on to the approval of minutes from the December 8th, 2020 regular session. This was sent out by Cherie last week. Is there a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
Motion to approve minutes as presented. Is
Jim
Jim?
Record has made a motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Pam has seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by stating your name and A or nay.
M. Jack, yay.
Jim Record, yay.
Joe Scaldera, yay.
Jeremy Russell, yay.
Bruce Barton, are you with us? Cherie, do you know if we've lost Bruce?
Wasn't showing that he was lost, but let me see here.
He is not in my list.
He's
of
not on my
people.
list all of a sudden. He was here. Okay.
Being absent, do we record him as an A? Till we can get him back.
No, I don't think so.
Is that you, Ken?
It was, yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm not seeing that he's trying to get back in either.
We do have a majority vote for
Yeah, well,
yay.
you still have a quorum. You still have a quorum. You're good.
So the minutes have been approved. You also have received the agenda for this evening. Are there any requested changes to the agenda? If not, is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Motion to approve agenda as presented.
Jim has made the motion. Is there a second?
It's Jeremy. I'll second the motion.
Jeremy has seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by stating your name and A or nay.
M. Jack, yay.
Jim Record, yay.
Joe Scaldera, yay.
Jeremy Russell, yeah.
Motion is carried. Okay, Deputy Austin is on duty this evening, but since we're meeting virtually, we indicated to him that it was not necessary for him to attend. You have received the security reports from the handouts from last week. Are there any questions about the security report? Would like to point out that Deputy Austin now has been certified for the LiDAR radar. So we would anticipate that starting next month that some of the traffic stops will increase in the village. Okay, Mr. Barton has joined us in council chambers.
Computer fails.
Okay. So Bruce will be in council chambers. Okay, moving on to Park and Recreation. Park and Recreation did not meet this month. So we have a continuation of our discussion from last month on the art donation. This is an art donation that the L1A Foundation is proposing to offer to the village at no charge, including the complete installation. The L1A Foundation was founded a few years back by some residents that have a vested interest and a deep interest in our community. And they're trying to give back to our community through this art donation. You had requested at the last council meeting that we provide some additional information, additional details about the donation. And the artist was kind enough to put together a rather extensive write-up about not only this piece, but some of the other works that he has done. And there are numerous number of municipalities that have his artwork. So he's quite well known. Are there any questions or comments at this point about the art donation? If not, is there a motion to approve the art donation? And this was recommended by Park and Rec to the village. So is there a motion to approve the art donation as presented?
Jeremy, I'll make a motion to approve the art donation.
Okay. We have a motion to approve the art donation. Is there a second?
I second it.
Bruce Barton has seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by stating aye or nay with your name.
MJ, yay.
Jim Record, yay.
Joe Scaldera, yay.
Jeremy Russell, yay.
Bruce Barton, yay.
The motion is carried. I would just like to thank the L1A Foundation for their generous offer to the village. We look forward to having that completed and installed in Russell Park, or excuse me, Matheson Square.
Did you say it's the A1A Foundation?
I think it's the L1A.
L1A,
Yes, L1A Foundation.
okay.
Okay, moving on to the Union County Interlocal Utility Agreement. This is something that Union County is proposing to all the municipalities in Union County. This was sent out. Hopefully you've had a chance to take a look at it. As of yesterday, anyway, none of the municipalities had approved the agreement. It has much more impact on some of the bigger municipalities such as Indian Trail and Stallings, since they have a lot of development going on. It doesn't impact the village of Lake Park too much since we do not have much to be developed. It's about the only thing we have left is the corner down where Lucas is currently located. Does anybody have any questions about this? We're recommending that we defer any decision on this until February in case some of the other municipalities have requested changes to the agreement, and that would impact our acceptance of that. Did anybody have any questions about that this evening?
Questions?
Cheryl, do you know if Wesley Chapel adopted this last night?
We did not adopt it.
Okay. So as of this evening, we don't think anyone has adopted it. Indian Trail is meeting this evening, so we don't know what their decision will be. Moving on to item number 10, the NCDOT Title VI. There's a lot of information that was sent out in your packet. This has to do with the receipt of funds from state and federal governments, and primarily has to do with discrimination. So a lot of the documentation pertains to discrimination. Mr. Swain had some questions about some of the information to investigate that. Is that correct, Ken?
Yeah, it is. I don't know exactly if that any of my inquiries are going to be met with any response. They're typically really slow in responding to me, and my inquiry surrounds what the requirements would be of the village in regards to implementation of what they are suggesting or indicating as a preference based on the funding you receive, as to whether or not CARES Act funding or POW bill funding would necessarily place you in a position to be required to follow through with the suggested policy implementation. If it does, then I think that there were a few little minor areas that I saw, and Cherie had put together a packet of information that I don't know if you guys had the time to review or not, related to complaints that could be issued in regards to these particular types of issues. She did a good job. It was very thorough. There were a couple of areas that I saw where it might need just a little bit of small tweaking, but it frankly wasn't very much. But what it did bring into play was, it's one of the disadvantages that I think you guys run into being such a small jurisdiction, is having the interior infrastructure with which to create, a whole nother kind of appellate review process, essentially, of decisions that are being made. I think, if I recall correctly, Cherie was listed as the appointed designee for evaluating the appeal and taking or not taking action related to it. And I think that even she suggested the possibility of it being the mayor, or maybe it's another designee of the council. That's something you probably need to think about. And in some degree, similar to the interlocal utility agreement, I'm not becoming conscious necessarily of a lot of jurisdictions diving right into implementation of this. And I think sitting back a little bit and just taking just a little bit more time, maybe a meeting or two, to determine whether or not there's any movement that I can kind of gather, just a little bit of comparison to, would be good. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Cherie, did you have anything to add, or does anybody have any questions for Ken or Cherie? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to the finance officer's report. Cheryl.
Right, you have the December statements. And we are up to 90% of tax and stormwater tax collected. In December, we got our quarterly state shared revenues, and they came in very good. They came in on budget or above. So that was nice to see. The expenditures, there wasn't anything too extraordinary. We also did receive our the half year allotment of POW bill revenue in December, at the very end of December. That's all I have.
Okay, I had expressed in my email to council and staff about the budget review, and my only concern was both the revenue and expenditures for the swimming pool. I think we may have under budgeted what our expenses would be for the pool contract, but I think we also have probably underestimated what our income will be for season passes. So I don't know if we would want to make any changes to that at this point. I don't know, Cheryl, do you have any thoughts about that?
I wasn't aware of this. You mean for the pool management fee?
Yeah, we thought with COVID that our pool management hours would be down, but we were basically able to keep the pool open just about full schedule So we'll probably only be down about $3,000 in expense to the pool management company. And I think we had estimated we would be down around $12,000. So we are going to have more expense than we anticipated for the pool contract. But we also only anticipated about half the revenue which we would normally have for season passes. And at this point, we don't know how many season passes we're going to be selling because we don't know the status of the pool come May, June. So that's kind of the question we have, and it's kind of hard to make that judgment at this point, not knowing what the situation is going to be.
We are also way over budget in daily swim fees, so we're
Yes.
$2,850 over budget in that account.
Yes. Did anybody else have any comments on the budget? Any thoughts on where we stand and any changes that need to be made?
I think in general, things look well. I think we're still, Cheryl just said we're 90% tax collected, which is great. I think we still have some road to hoe ahead, not knowing what the economy is going to do with everything in the world we're facing. Just my comment.
Yep. Anyone else? Thank you, Jeremy. All right, we do need to make a budget amendment. In December, we appropriated money from contingency to payroll to cover holiday bonuses, and it turns out because of the taxes and FICA and so forth, we were short $99 in what we appropriated. So we need a motion to appropriate $99 from contingency to payroll to correct the shortfall there. Is there a motion to do that?
I'll make the motion for the $99 appropriation.
Okay, Joe has made that motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Bruce has seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, state your name and A.
I'm Jack, A.
Jim Record, yay.
Joe Scaldera, yay.
Jeremy Russell, yay.
Bruce Barton, yay.
Motion is carried. We also need to have a motion to make a tax refund to CoreLogic for $4,825.50. These are overpayments in taxes. Is there a motion to do that?
I move that we refund CoreLogic $4,825.50.
Okay, Pam has made the motion. Is there a second?
Jeremy, I'll second.
Jeremy has seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by stating your name and A or nay.
I'm Jack, yay.
Jim Record, yay.
Joe Scaldera, yay.
Jeremy Russell, yay.
Bruce Barton, yay.
Motion is carried. Sheree would like to provide an update on where we stand on tax collections at this point.
I just wanted to share with council that at this point, we have 87 delinquent accounts totaling a little less than $25,000. That includes both GAAP and real and personal property taxes. And Angie and I mailed out taxes were delinquent January 6th, and we have already mailed out our delinquent notices for interest for January and February. So we are continuing to work on our list.
Okay, so we're doing very well on our tax collections. Thank you, Sheree. Okay, we need an update from Planning Board on comprehensive plan. Jim Record.
Okay, I have a bit of an information to give you guys tonight. There was a presentation at the last meeting by Vaughn, and they gathered information from surveys that we have done in the town, plus this last survey we did. from the U.S. Census Bureau, the North Carolina Office of State Budget and Management, American Community Survey from 2018, some from the Federal Reserve, and so they put a lot of information together. This plan or this PowerPoint presentation that was given to us is on the website. It is on the main site under the comprehensive plan, and there'll be a PowerPoint there, and you can see how they sliced and diced this information. So to start with, from the survey that went out, there was 166 responses. Of those 166 responses, 37 of them were through paper. And so the majority was electronic. And just to give me a couple minutes just to go through a couple stuff, because there's a lot of information. We do have the raw data that was broken out from this information, and there's still a lot more to go. So I'm just going to throw some stuff out here for you and give some additional information at a later date of where we need to go. So it was going on about a population where stronger than 3,700, and Union County is growing year over year at approximately 6.3%, and Union County is expected to be over 355,000 people by the year 2040. Lake Park obviously is not going to be growing. We're pretty much tapped out as it is. So they did talk about regional growth rates that have happened between 2010 and 2018. North Carolina grew during this period 6.5%. Union County grew at 12.5%, and Lake Park grew just about under 10%. They have a population breakdown. Median age of North Carolina is 38.6 years old. Union County is 38, and Lake Park median age is 43.8. Again, that is from a 2018 survey. Most of the people in Lake Park are family with children. Actually, about 50% are family with children and living alone, and only 7% are over 65. And I'm just going through here. They were broken out by degrees, and Lake Park has a lot of our population who is 25 years and older have some college or have a degree, a professional degree, and there's approximately 15% have a professional's degree in Lake Park, living in Lake Park. They did talk about employment, and basically we are about 73% of our population is in the labor force, which puts about 27%. That is the highest amount in the labor force between North Carolina and compared to Union County. And we are the lowest for not in the labor force. So we're actually, our statistics there are great. It did break it out to some median income. Again, this is from a 2018 survey. So the median income for North Carolina is just over 52,000. For Union County, it is just over 75,000. And for Lake Park, it is 74,500 a year. So we're pretty good with our median income coming in. We talked about place of work. 57% of our workforce are outside of Union County. 42% are inside of Union County. Work locations, 47% of our residents go to Charlotte, 7% go to Indian Trail, and 8% of our residents go to Monroe. Their mode of transportation, basically 80% of the people drive alone. And it's less than, it's 10% or less that you have a carpool, public transportation, work from home, or other, take a bike or whatever. It's very low there. And 10% of our workforce work from home in Lake Park, work from home pre-COVID. We talked about some housing. We have approximately 20% of Lake Park's housing is rental income. And they talked about, home values. Median home value in North Carolina is about 166,000. Union County is approximately 270,000, and Lake Park was approximately 189,000. That was from a survey in 2018. One thing that I do want to state here is in Q1 2021, there is going to be a property reevaluation in Union County. Property values are expected to go up 20 to 30%. This does not mean that there's going to be an increase in our taxes. That depends upon the tax rate and whatever that tax rate is going to be, and that could be possibly be lowered. We don't know, but we do know that there is a revalue going to be happening in Q1 2021, and our property values are expected to rise between 20 to 30%. So I just wanted to state that out there and going on. So we have, like we said, in home ownership, we have it's about 80%, and 20% is rental income. They talked about some surveys. For people who took the survey that we sent out, like I said, there was 166 responses that we received. 95% live in Lake Park, 4% work in Lake Park, 42% own property in Lake Park, 2% owned a business in Lake Park, and it said 2% in other, and they were asking for specificity of that in there, but they weren't part of these responses in this report. 30% of our residents have lived here less than 5 years, 20% between 5 and 10 years, 30% between 11 and 20, and then 20% more than 20 years. So we have we have a third of our population is less than 5 years. So that's good. And of these people who responded, there was no one under 25. So, and they broke it out between 25 to 34 years of age, 11%, 35 to 44 was 16, 45 to 54, 17, 55 to 64, 23%, and then over 65, there were 31% of the responded. So we did have a third of all the responders came from people over the age of 65. There was a number of different questions, and one was, how would you rate your quality of life in Lake Park? 67% of those respondents said the quality of life is high. 32% said it was average, and we have 1% saying it was low. And we got some things to talk about with that one. There was another question, what are your favorite things about the village? A lot of people responded with they like the people, they like the parks, they like the sidewalks, they like the lakes. Less came down with events, maintenance layout. Small numbers talked about playgrounds. Small number talked about time center, people like the trees, like the quiet. But a lot of people, it was people, sidewalks, and parks were the top rated items about what they loved about the village. We did talk about how would you like to rate the village services? And we've talked about this in the past. It was part of our comprehensive 5-year plan. And what was things that was not rated high was zoning and code enforcement. I want to say, I think some of that is mixed in with HOA, not understanding what's between the government and HOA. Animal control, streets and sidewalk maintenance, and stormwater management. Those were rated low. Law enforcement was rated up there, events, fire department, communications, parks and rec, and waste collection, recycling. All those were basically satisfied. But again, those first four, and we got to go, probably have to dig into those to understand what was going in. Again, we have the raw data, and we do got to go through that raw data to, understand this a little bit better. There was a question we did ask, were the people aware of the village and HOA functions? 54% said yes. 22% said no, and 24% were unsure of how the differences between the functions. So there's some work that does need to be there of talking about these functions. Another question was, do you know how to contact the village or the HOA for whatever required? And surprisingly here, we said, 90% people said, yeah, they know how to talk to get to hold of village government, where 10% said no. And 87% said they know how to get to the HOA, and 13% said no. So maybe trying to put those two together of saying, are you aware of the village and HOA functions, and do you know how to contact them? These numbers don't align up. So we got to do something a little bit different to dig into these numbers about how to educate the residents of who to talk to and where to go. So we also asked the perception of the village appearance. 61% say it looks great, 28% say just okay, and 11% say it needs a lot of improvement. Again, we got to dig into this a little bit. We were asking, how often do you visit the downtown of Lake Park? 26% said frequently, 49% occasionally, 18% is rarely, and 7% of the people say they never go to the downtown. So I don't know what we can do here, but again, these are just numbers that are out there. And again, this presentation is inside. It's on the website that you can go and view. And there was something about businesses, improvements do you want? 54 people or responses, surveys said they want more restaurants. 18 want a convenience store. 10 want a sandwich shop. 9 wanted a fitness center. I mean, we, trying to get a gauge of what people looking at. And we did talk about what's the perception of Parks and Rec. 29% of the respondents said they're excellent. 59% said the Parks and Recs are adequate for their needs, and 12% said more amenities are needed. One was lights at the tennis courts, maybe a recreational workout center, senior activities. A dog park came up. Someone said about a skate park or a free pool. Updated playgrounds, a teen center. These were things that were added in and put into there. Then another question was about safety to walk and bike. Of the respondents, 100% said walking is important to them. For bicycles, 73% it was important to them. So, I mean, you can see that walking and biking for our residents is important. And one of the, we asked about a vision for the village. And, one of the biggest thing was improve home and yard maintenance, better common area maintenance. A lot say mostly stay the same. Some parkings, enforce speed limits, more events, more speed bumps and stop signs. increase police presence, limit rental and rental housing. Someone said a new HOA. So there's things out there. Then the question was, there challenges to your vision? Biggest thing was funding. Second biggest was HOA enforcement, changing mindsets, lack of commitment, collaboration, lack of code enforcement, bureaucracy, limited vision, too conservative leadership, limited land supply. So there are some challenges to people's visions of there. And that is a detailed version of what was put together, and we are looking at the raw data to come up with another survey to put forth to dig into some of these to further get into detail to understand some of these responses. So with that being said, I will say, are there any questions? And again, not hearing anything, I will say that this is on our website. We wanted to get this in front of council before pushing it out to all the residents and saying this is sitting out there, but it is on the website on the main heading underneath the comprehensive land plan.
Jim, how many people did respond to the survey?
We had 166 responses, and 37 of those were in paper. So 130 in electronic.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions for Jim? Okay, thank you very much, Jim.
Welcome, thank you.
Okay, moving on to stormwater. Sheree, want to talk about that?
Yes, sir. This little furry creature of yours is not a good representation of what the muskrat population is.
That is cute.
Yeah, he looks cute. Muskrat damage is not cute. So I had sent out information to council in reference to we need to trap. The last time we trapped was 2017, and we were able to remove 21 muskrats from the various ponds. We have 9 ponds right now that have signs of muskrat burrows and damage caused by the muskrats. We've looked at this multiple ways. The last time when the gentleman trapped in 2017, we paid a lot for setup fees, and I'm not sure, I mean, yes, we trapped 21, we took 21 muskrats out of here. My recommendation is the gentleman that's trapping per pelt, he would need to provide us per pelt and which ponds we're pulling these from, so that we can, because once we get them trapped, we're going to have to address the erosion issues that they're creating. And he'll do them for $75 a pelt. That's that's my best recommendation at this point, to have these removed. So I would need a motion from council to proceed with the trapping of these muskrats.
So I have a question, Sheree. I remember that there was, if I remember correctly, when we did this in 2017, that there was a lot of damage to the traps, missing traps, and with this one we were trying to capture the muskrats. So for this one, for $75 a pelt, I mean, we wouldn't be responsible for any of the traps that he's setting out there, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. You've also got, this gentleman lives a mile from here, and he will be, checking his trap lines, I guess, very frequently, very hands-on. He has really originally he gave us a per pond setup and then a charge per muskrat. And he figured it up, and he came back and he said, I think you would be better served for me to charge you per pelt, since we're talking about 9 different ponds to set up. So That's the reason for the $75 per pelt. You know, this time of year is the best time to trap. They do, in order to trap muskrats, you have to have a state license, and his license is in order. What else can I help you with?
What line item will it come from, Sheree?
It'll come out of stormwater and out of stormwater maintenance and repair. And that's going to be the other thing I'm going to need. I will be asking to move, I need to appropriate out of the stormwater fund balance
That'll be on
some
the next
money.
slide.
So do you want me to ask for that motion first?
Probably a good idea. And if you need money for anything else, because you're actually over budget in that line item.
Yeah. I was looking to ask that we appropriate out of the stormwater fund balance $20,000 and move it into the maintenance and repair line item for stormwater.
Sounds
And
good to
then
me.
I need approval for pet waste station bags. We are using them. We have had to order twice this year. We ordered 10 cases in May, and we've got to order, you know, we've got cases again that we're ordering again. People are using these. We can definitely tell everyone's staying at home. Or people have all gotten dogs to ward off being lonely, one of the two.
Is that part of the 20,000 or is that a
Yes,
different?
it would be part of the 20,000.
So if we made a motion to move 20,000 from stormwater to, or from the general fund to
Stormwater fund balance.
stormwater repair and what else did you say? Repair and maintenance.
Yeah. We're gonna
Maintenance.
so I'm requesting that we move $20,000 from the stormwater fund balance to the stormwater repair and maintenance line item.
Is there a motion? to-
Make that motion.
Okay, Pam has made that motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is that Joe?
Yes.
Okay, Joe has made the motion, or has made a motion to second that. Any discussion on that? All those in favor signify by stating A or nay.
Jack, yay.
Jim Record, yay.
Joe Scaldera, yay.
Jeremy Russell, yeah.
Bruce Barton, yay.
Okay, that motion is carried. Let's go back to the muskrats now. We can entertain a motion here to approve. And what is the name of the gentleman or the company?
Nick Yuri?
Wait a minute.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Nick Yuri, Y-E-A-R-Y.
We just used him in Wesley Chapel also.
Okay, so we need a motion to approve paying Nick Gary $75 per pelt to trap the muskrats in 9 ponds.
I'll make that. Go ahead, Jim.
Okay, I make the motion to hire Nick Yuri to trap muskrats at $75 for each muskrat in our ponds.
Is there a second?
I'll second it. As long as Joe plays Muskrat Love on the carillon.
Oh,
Okay, so we have a second, a provisional second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by stating your name and A or nay.
Jack, yay.
Jim Record, yay.
Joe Scaldera, yay.
Jeremy Russell, yeah.
Bruce Barton, yay.
Motion is carried. Okay, going back to pet waste stations. As Sheree mentioned, we need to purchase more pet waste bags for $1,745. Is there a motion to do that?
Motion to purchase waste bags for $1,745.
Jim Record has made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Bruce Martin has seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by stating your name and the A or nay.
Jack, yay.
Jim Record, yay.
Joe Scaldario, yay.
Jeremy Russell, yeah.
Bruce Barton, yay.
Motion is carried. Anything else on stormwater, Sheree?
The only other thing I wanted to let council know is we have been talking with Eagle Engineering in reference to the Christopher Channel. We've got some erosion issues. However, it is so wet over there right now that we've got to wait till it dries out some. I hope to have more information for you at the February meeting. We're also looking at Normandy Pond, where we have a lot of erosion, and I've got places where the bank is just falling in on itself. And I will have some more information for you on that in February. So those are two things that we're going to need to address.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to public services, streets and sidewalks. We've had ongoing discussions about the sidewalk over on Cortland and the need to trim back the Leland cypress trees. I have had several conversations today with the homeowner adjacent to that sidewalk, and I have a couple photographs here. The one on the left is a photograph taken a couple months ago. Photograph on the right is the one that was taken this afternoon. The homeowner has, she referred to him as her arborist, that he is out there working to trim the trees back. I will say that it's probably been pruned back enough that a toddler could walk on the sidewalk. But when I was over there this evening, I called the homeowner from when I was standing out there on the sidewalk, and she said that her arborist was still working on it. And I explained to her that, you know, it still was not pruned back enough that I could even walk through there. And she said, I understand that he's not done. He will be coming back. So if it's agreeable with council, I would say let's just defer until February and take another look at this. Any comments, questions?
The only comment I see from the photo on the right, he may be trimming back, but he's not, in my vision here, he's not trimming back far enough the full width of the sidewalk.
Correct, yeah.
Hopefully he will adjust accordingly. Maybe have to clean some of that debris on the ground to find the edge of the sidewalk.
Yeah, I thought we could maybe just blow that back, but it's been there quite a while. It may have to be scraped back. So I don't know if our arborist will do that or not, but we can address that. Any other questions, comments? Everyone okay with deferring till February? Okay. We had discussion at our last meeting about extending the sidewalk past Miss Dee Dee's out to Meeting Street, and I'll turn it over to Bruce to discuss that further.
All righty. What I did is I had veterans come back out, and I believe the mayor sent out to everyone the estimate for the additional work for Meeting Street, which would be another approximately $6,400 round figure. At this time, with what we have in the budget for sidewalks, we would be over budget. And quite frankly, I think the most important part of this moment is the sidewalk for Creft to come down to Meeting Street from the nursery, get that done for this year's budget, and then move into next year and do the second edition. And that estimate will hold, as you saw, it doesn't expire. So you do that into our next budget period without a problem. I've had conversations with Ms. Ortiz and also talked with her about the way folks drive and pick up their children. Even witnessed a couple of occasions where they kind of drive like they're on a NASCAR track and pulling in to get tires and gas. And she has advised me that she constantly speaks to people, and also about the double parking situation. But one of the issues they have is parking along Creft where there is no sidewalk, especially if it's been raining, etc., which creates quite a condition for the kids and the parents to be walking through on that grass, so they end up walking out on the road, which is anything but a safe condition. So I would strongly recommend, and I'd like to make a motion that we go ahead and take care of that sidewalk from Meeting Street on Creft up to the nursery. Also, it would not even be scheduled to be done until probably February, March of this year, just based on Veteran Concrete's schedule and how they are booked right now. So I would like to make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the 4422 price for sidewalk on Creft. Is there a second?
For conversation's sake, I'll second.
Okay, Joe has made a second to the motion. Is there discussion at this point?
Mr. Mayor, yeah, I'd like to speak.
Yes, Jeremy.
I guess I was a little bit surprised that we were back. This was back before us tonight. When I saw it on the information come out, I assumed it was just for information. Seemingly by consent, last month was no motion at all. We would put this in the next year's budget and look at it then. So I just go on record. I'm not against the sidewalk. I went by Miss Dee Dee's again tonight between the 5 and 6 o'clock hour. Took some photographs I'll be glad to share. There was 0 cars in the parking lot, in the back parking lot, none whatsoever. And Creft Circle was just stacked up out there. So again, I don't see that it's a safety issue, that it's the town's place to do this mid-budget year when there are other options for what's happening up there. I'm not against it. I think it's an admirable thing to do. I think there needs to be a little bit of discussion into it as far as putting a contingency on that property like we had talked about for it being an improvement for if it is ever developed upon. But I just think it's just crazy. If we're going to do it, we should just pull from contingency and do the entire thing while they're down there doing it for a community's sake, not for just this private business for the folks that are parking there that could park in the back parking lot of Miss Dee Dee's. They're clearly not doing that. Again, I'm not against it. I would certainly vote for it in due time through the next budget cycle, but that's my input tonight.
This is Jim, and I'm just going to add in, I know we're looking at it's over budget. If we did the both things, to me, I think we should do them both and just do it. But my question here, though, I thought we decided that we were going to move the sidewalk out to the street or to the street edge and not have the grass in between. Because if you're still talking about kids getting out of the car and then they have to get on, getting out muddy feet, they're still going to get muddy feet if there's grass. So there should all be sidewalk right at the edge of that street, right at that shoulder. And I think that should be on both sides.
I think the problem, Jim, with that is that there are light poles and street signs in that median area.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason that it was moved back off a couple feet off the street.
Basically, it's also staying in line with the way the sidewalk runs on the other side of Meeting Street down Creft around the park. It is set back however many feet. I don't know that number in front of me.
Yeah.
Just for uniformity, but the biggest problem was you've got the streetlights. There's, I believe, 1, if not 2, on Creft, and there's also on Meeting Street.
Okay.
And I don't want us to get bogged down in the idea that this is solely for the participants of the nursery. I mean, this is basically an improvement to the sidewalk access for all the residents of the village. Jim, I think you're right. I mean, it'd be nice to have it right out to the street for people getting in and out of their cars. But again, keep in mind that this would be for all residents and is mainly to complete the sidewalks for that corner of the village of Lake Park.
Yeah, no, like I said, I'm all for putting both sidewalks in. I mean, I'm for putting it in now, both sides. I
Okay.
just think the sidewalks on this side, this is still considered downtown. It's still considered commercial. On the other side of that's Kraft there, and Kraft, the sidewalks go right out to the street in front of the town, in front of all the businesses, right to the shoulder. It's concrete. There's no grass, and I'm just thinking it should stay the same to me. That's where I'm coming from. That's all.
Yeah. Any other comments?
I'm agreeing. I think Jeremy's right. I think if we have 4422 in the sidewalk budget, take that in the current budget and take 6398 out of contingency and do the whole thing at one time.
We almost have $10,000 in the sidewalk budget. So we would, at this point, we would probably only need to move $1,000 out of contingency to the sidewalk budget. The only issue there is that that would leave nothing currently, although we don't have any sidewalk projects planned. It would leave nothing for the balance of this year in the sidewalk budget.
But if we needed to have some more, we could always take some more out of contingency, correct?
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
Or also, we're 4 months from the next budget cycle, budget workshops.
Yeah.
If it's not really a true emergent situation, we budget it then and do it, but I'll be quiet now.
Okay. We have a motion to do the 4422. Would someone like to make an amendment to that to complete both sections of the sidewalk and move $1,000 out of contingency to the sidewalk budget to approve that?
I'll make that motion.
So those
And-
two separate do those have to be two separate motions because one's moving funds?
Yeah, Cheryl, you can answer that one.
I was just trying to figure it out. We're taking 6398 from contingency?
No, we have almost $10,000 left in the sidewalk capital expense budget. So to do both sections of this sidewalk, we would need to move $1,000 from contingency to the sidewalk capital budget.
Okay. So
So,
first move the 1,000 and then you can go on from there.
okay.
So you're amending the original motion?
Well, we can either vote down the original motion and then put a new motion on the floor. That's probably the cleanest way. So let's take a vote on the current motion to complete just the sidewalk on the Kraft side of that corner. All those
Jim
in
Jack,
favor?
no.
Jim Record, no.
Joe Scaldera, no.
Jeremy Russell, no.
Bruce Barton, no.
Okay. All right.
Can't see you laughing, Jim.
Got it. At this point, would someone like to make a motion to move $1,000 from contingency to the sidewalk capital budget?
I'll make that motion to move $1,000 from the contingency fund to the sidewalk, whatever, sidewalk
Okay.
fund.
I'll second that motion.
Jim has seconded. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
We're
Right.
we're only voting on moving that money right now, right?
That is
Right.
correct, yes.
Sure.
All those in favor signify by stating your name and aye or nay.
Jim Jack, yay.
Jim Record, yay.
Joe Scaldera, yay.
Jeremy Russell, yay.
Bruce Barton, yay.
All right, moving on to waste collection. No, I'm sorry. Would someone at this point, like to make a motion to complete both sections of the sidewalk on the corner of Creft and Meeting Street for a total of 4,422 plus 6,398, 10,820.
I'll make a motion that we complete the sidewalk on Creft and also the sidewalk on Meeting Street for a total of $10,820.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Pam has seconded. Any further discussion?
Mayor, one piece of discussion. At the last meeting, Cheryl had mentioned the ability to encumber those funds against that development in the future. And we may be all dead and gone, but would it not be the fiscally responsible thing to do to word this in that manner?
I had happened to be talking to Eagle Engineering, the former president, and I mentioned this to him, what we were looking at, and that the issue of putting a lien on that property to do that type of thing. He said he had never heard of such a thing. You know, that it's the town's decision if we want to go ahead and put that sidewalk in, but if we do it, it's the town's decision. So that whether that's the legal answer or not, and Ken, I don't know if you want to weigh in on that without doing some research, but Eagle Engineering is involved in a lot of projects in all the municipalities around here, and basically, you know, Mr. Ross said he had never heard of such a thing.
I have not heard of that either, other than by use of a potential special assessment, and that would require some hoop jumping to be researched and determine whether or not a special assessment can be assigned to the property under the circumstances. And I don't know that off the top of my head, but in terms of, there's no kind of mechanism for in your motion to somehow encumber that property with passing, the creation of the sidewalk on the areas. I don't believe that exists.
Okay. I thought Cheryl had said there were. The only other thing I would say, just to be on record, is in the contract from Floyd's, it states that these will be done in accordance with North Carolina Department or DOT code. These codes are based on the city engineer of Mecklenburg County. I'm assuming those are probably federal codes, but we would probably want to make sure we're covered, being that we're in Union County.
I've already had those discussions with Veterans Concrete, and they have said that they'll ensure that they're following the codes that are required with Union County, which will be more than what even Mecklenburg has in certain respects. They're even going to have the rubber pad, which is mandated now down at the base, so people don't slip as they step off the sidewalk into the street because of the angle. They pretty much have all their bases covered with what they're going to do, but this would all be squared away before they start anything.
Yeah, I understand. Just don't want us to be sitting with the egg on our face if we build a sidewalk to Mecklenburg standards that don't fit Union. That wouldn't be well. I'm good, Mayor.
Yeah, no, that's good point, Jeremy. Okay, any other discussion?
Excuse me, who seconded that motion?
Me.
Pam, okay. Thank you.
All right, all those in favor of completing the sidewalk on the corner of Creft and Meeting Street signify by stating your name and A or nay.
Kim Jack, yay.
Jim Record, yay.
Joe Scaldera, yay.
Jeremy Russell, yeah.
Bruce Barton, yay.
Okay, motion is carried. Moving on to anything else on street sidewalks? Okay.
Again, just keep in mind, this probably won't even get started till probably late February or sometime in March, just so everybody's aware.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me, Mayor, is Ken going to look into a special assessment or not?
No.
Okay,
No.
thank you. Just wanted to check.
Okay, moving on to waste collection, Jim.
Okay, we did receive a notice from Waste Pro to the CPI has gone up like 3.3%, and they want to go up 3%. when their contract comes up for renewal in July. So that's just going to need to be added into the budget talks and discussions when we do that, there'll be a 3% increase. So
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
And moving on to lighting, Joe.
Not too much for you. The only thing I really have is way back in beginning of March, we talked about adding some lights to the Lukoski out there in front of the town center. But when we were refurbishing it, I sent some emails out. And to be honest with you, I actually forgot all about it, and I had some response to it the other day. A company in California that has been pretty much shut down is back open. And if I want to see if everybody's still interested in doing that, I can look into it again.
Can you explain a little more about?
What we were talking about doing was adding some LED strip lighting to the top parts of it inside the glass frame so that it'll be illuminated at night.
How would we get power there?
Solar powered.
Okay.
That's what we had a small discussion about it when we were refurbishing it. I looked into it, and like I said, I never got a response back till just last week.
I think it's a great idea.
Did they give you an estimate of the price?
They gave me just availability of parts and what we would need to do for this. I can put that together. I was checking to see if everybody was still interested in it, but I can get more information upon that and have that for next meeting.
We've got two people at least nodding their heads.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll move forward with that, check into it, and we'll see what we can do on that next time.
Okay. Anything else on lighting?
No, that's about it. Our Christmas lights are done. Thank goodness we got through that. That was got a little hairy for a bit, but we pretty much for the most part, we're out of that. So
yeah, I want to thank you for working with Henry to keep those lights on. I think that's the most successful year we've had for keeping lights on through the rain and the vandalism and everything else. So you did a great job. We appreciate that.
Thank you. Veterans Pond got a little bit tricky at times, but we got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good job.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to communication information. Pam?
Well, Cherie and I have been talking about, we're going to do a big thing on for the next couple issues on stormwater. Jim, I'd love for you to, or Cherie, whoever, waste collection is the time of year when we need to remind people. There's the dog situation with people cleaning up after their pets. That's another thing that I want to put in. But as far as a lot of information, since Parks and Rec didn't really meet and didn't have much, I don't have a whole lot for the newsletter. So if you have any suggestions, send them my way.
Pam, don't you have the article on the leaves? We've got a lot of people still with a lot of leaves in their yards.
Yes, I was going to put it in last month and then I didn't have enough room. Yeah. So I will do that. Yes.
That would be helpful because I mean, all this stuff is ending up in the storm drain.
Right.
And then the pond. So we really need to try to educate people.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
The muskrat trappings, he moves them somewhere else, correct?
No.
No. Should I not mention that?
No.
Huh?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Got it.
Plus, we don't want anyone springing the traps. That's the big issue.
Okay, if anyone has anything that you think of after the meeting, please forward that to Pam. Moving on to council comments, we'll start with Bruce.
No, I'm good except for my computer failure, but we'll get that squared away.
Okay, Jeremy.
Mayor, I'd like to just publicly give my condolences to Councilman Record with the passing of his brother. And I'm glad his mom and dad are doing well. And certainly, I think by now we probably all have had somebody that's been touched by COVID, and it's a bad situation. So certainly was sorry to read that news. And on the same note, I'd just like to say that the state of disarray that our country is in, I think we're blessed here in Union County and in Lake Park to be able to, albeit on Zoom tonight, we can agree to disagree. We can have healthy discussions and all leave here as friends and know that we can call each other to lend a hand the next day. And I mean that sincerely. I think that's all the way across this board's point of view. So I'm proud to work with all you guys and gals.
Thank you, Jeremy. Joe?
After that one, ditto. Same thing as Jeremy said, Jim. Norman was a fun guy to be around. I'm sure you're going to miss him. Our condolences.
Thank you.
Jim?
So, no, thank you to the council. Thank you for the flowers. It's really appreciated. There was a lot of support, and thank you everyone for everything. I appreciate it very much. Don't want to make this about me, but thank you. I'd like to, just put a note out there to L1A Foundation, Art Foundation for, that donation. I think that's going to look nice up in Matheson Square. Again, thank you for everything, for all the support from everybody.
Pam?
Just sincere sympathy to you, Jim, and your whole family, and Sharon. I know it's been a tough time for you all. And I agree with Jeremy. It's good that we can agree to disagree, but whenever it's all over, we'll support each other, and we'll carry on and do the best that we can do for the village of Lake Park, and that's most important.
Thank you, Pam. I'd also like to express condolences to Jim and his family, and also give thanks to Lori Scaldera for her doing God's work out in Texas, and I know she's leaving her family back here in Lake Park, but we appreciate everything that she's doing and all the responders that are working to combat the COVID situation. Ken, do you have anything?
Sure. Sorry, Mr. Record.
Thank you, Ken.
Cherie?
No, sir.
And Cheryl?
Just my condolences to Jim.
Thank you.
All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Jim has made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Bruce has seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by stating your name and yea or nay.
Damn Jack, yay.
Jim Record, yay.
Joe Scaldera, yay.
Jeremy Russell, yay.
Bruce Barton, yay.
The meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
On the radio.
Stay safe.
You as well.